Let's do it. I'm Black Hannibal, running through your capital on elephants. Civilize a savage with my elegance. Militant intelligence, run through your defense. Strike like a ninja, slice, cut, and injure. Leave no prisoners, just bodies on the battlefield. I'm Spartacus with a sword and shield. Something like a marksman with cold blue steel. War paint on my face, keep my identity concealed. Advance on your camp like dozens of killer ants. Snatch your king like chess, checkmate, this is death. While my team have fun with your queen. Throw your bishops off the roof, your knights flee the scene. I plant bombs in the home of your pawns. The detonation shook the foundation of your rooks. Holding shotguns with double barrels. They impact so hard when it blasts through your body travels. Yeah. Street Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Burn your flag as I overthrow your government. New politics, no Democrats and Republicans. Spiritual systems built by wise men who's true in living. The foundation's no longer Christian. Teaching universally the wisdom of the nations. New currency, no more dollar bills with white faces. No more Caucasian domination. All races participating, cultivating education. The people hungry and they ain't waiting. No more debating. Let's overthrow the haven to Satan. This whole world needs some new changes. Rulers with new faces. It's time to take out the racists. Spartacus from the new ages. From the page to the stage, pull a blade on the money changers. Spartacus from the new ages. From this page to the stage, pull a blade on the money changers. Yo. Rob Blackstorm, Late Night. Peace to Alchemist and Book. Peace to Hollow Vegeta. Peace to J Rock L. Y'all in the building with me. I appreciate it. You know, in New York right now, it's like 2:30. I ended up taking a nap, y'all. And I took a nap after work and I fell asleep. But since I think I got all fellas here right now, people on the replay gonna be like, what the hell is going on? But I got all fellas in here. Shout out to y'all for rocking with me on a late night. Yo, I fell asleep after work. I ended up missing the booty call. I looked at my phone. I'm like, shit. I was like, shit. It was something that I was looking forward to, too, for a bit. But, you know, sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles, man. You know, sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. But I was able to, you know, this Kanye West thing is kind of hot in the streets right now. So I wanted to talk about it real quick. I see y'all piling in. Okay, I appreciate y'all rocking with me on the late night. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. What we going to do, I don't want to waste too much of your time. Just got out of meditation a couple hours ago. Hope you guys are doing your meditations. Actually, let's get right into it. Shout out to y'all in the building. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. All right, and we will get this party started. So welcome on a late night. Let's let them go. Now, let's go. All right, so let's get it started. Peace to Birdman. All right, coming in the building. All right, let's do this real. Let me set this up. Let's do this. Settings. No. What am I trying to do? Oh, I'm bugging. Where's the... 1 second. Okay, here we go. So yeah, let's share this. Share system audio. All right, boom. So yeah, we're going to talk about this Kanye thing. First things first, we're going to talk about spirit and raising the spirit. So let's go into quick recap. Y'all know I've been talking about this if y'all been following me. But quick recap. So right now, this is where we are. We're in a Tahuti cycle, Shep cycle. Tahuti is the god of wisdom, science, mathematics. Is basically your higher self, higher thoughts. Right here it says Sheps. Sheps is basically enlightened ancestors. So right now is a great time. Just going to go over the highlights for querying the oracle. Just means getting your readings, right?
receiving counsel. So you should be getting your readings now, preparing yourself for the winter solstice, seeing what you should be doing to prepare yourself for next year, studying the ancient wisdom as the basis of deciding on your course of actions in the coming cycle. All right. So really at night is when you want to be doing your meditations, not at sunrise. Okay. This is the key to success. All right. And of course, you want to reduce your salt intake from now to the next equinox. All right. I went over the herbs. You can check that video out. Again, this is from now to November 5th. You guys know there's Halloween coming up. There's Thanksgiving coming up, right? So, but especially this month, we're going from Libra to Libra is ruled by Venus. Scorpio is ruled by Mars. All right. So that's this right now. We're in the cycle of feminine energy. We're about to go into the cycle of masculine energy. All right. So it's very important that we cultivate, when you're dealing with the feminine energy, you're dealing with the inner self. You're dealing with your inner spiritual or your soul self, actually. When you're dealing with that feminine energy, you're dealing with your soul, you're dealing with your DNA, you're dealing with the foundation of who you are. Scientifically speaking, you're dealing with black body radiation. All right. When you're dealing with the masculine energy going into Scorpio season, right? Now we're dealing with spiritual energy, cultivating spirit, right? Cultivating the inner fire, right? Or actually executing that inner fire out into the world, into our rituals, right? Into our prayers, into our affirmations, into whatever, method or mode of healing or transformation or even manifestation, right? So basically, masculine and feminine, right, create what? Children. So Venus, right, Mars, and then after that, we go into Sagittarius, right, where we're aiming our sights and we're basically looking towards the future, which is next year. As I said, I still think that we are going to have a stock market crash in Scorpio season, and that's when they will change the currency. So prepare for it. Prepare for people to be going crazy, not to know what to do, to be lost. If you're in tune, you'll be prepared for the moment. If not, you'll be lost in the sauce. It is what it is. So we're going to go into. I don't have my other screen hooked up, so I hate looking at it just like this, but if you're hearing frequencies in the background, that is theta waves. So upgrading the frequency while you listen to me in these hours. So I want to go over this real quick. So this is today. Well, yesterday, you could say October 4th. All right. And we had, I may have to go back. Actually, let me see something. Because what I was looking for, but this is space weather. Give me 1 second, y'all. Because the video is no longer that I was going to show y'all is no longer here on this website for some weird reason. But okay, here it is. So multiple CMEs headed for Earth. CMEs are coronal mass ejections. Coronal mass ejections are plasma that literally comes from the sun. So to keep it simple, your blood has plasma, right? Your blood has plasma, right? The sun when the sun is giving out plasma in the form of a coronal mass ejection. Basically, the coronal is the outside of the sun, just like the outside of the eye is your cornea, right? So the outside of the sun is the ring of the sun. Corona also means crown. So when you're getting that crown plasma energy, right? If I can leftovers or some shit. When you have that crown energy, right, and you are, and that energy is hitting your body, right? You are now, or basically just saturating the environment, right? Basically, you have more energy to use to manifest what you want, to create what you want, to heal whatever you need to heal, to produce whatever you need to produce, right? This is a light and sound game. So when you get more light in the form of solar plasma, that's more information. All right. So the more information, knowledge, when used, is power. So if you get this, when you get this, not if, but when you get these downloads, when you have these dreams, when you have these daydreams, when you have these visions, especially during this time, you want to be very perceptive of what's going on. All right. I hate that I don't have my other thing. Okay, so I still see you out here. All right. So basically, so I want to show you this. Now, this is what happened today, or yesterday, I should say, October 4th, Cannibal CME, right? We had pink pulsating auroras, right? They call it a glitch in the matrix. Now, I want to show you this real quick. Check this out. So you've never seen. So this is what they would call the northern lights, but they're actually pulsating, which doesn't happen. And these lights are pulsating. Look how beautiful it looks, right? But it looks almost like a phoenix that's rising in the sky, right? Looks like bird wings. Look at it, right? It almost looks like bird wings. So look at it. So it looks like a phoenix. It looks like things are flying high. And we know when we're dealing with pinks or purples, right? This actually looks more indigo than pink than I'm actually looking at it here. I saw this on my phone and I just transferred it over. But now I'm looking at it here. It actually looks more purple, like more crown chakras. And you can see like the little bird, the way it looks like a little bird, right? So the timing of Kanye dropping this message, right? And you see it says right here, pink auroras are rare. Pulsating auroras are rare too. So these are rare things that are happening in the sky. Now I looked this up. I did see that they had these auroras happening, I think 2 other times this year, right? But it's not something that happens all the time. This was in Sweden, Bisco, Sweden, right? And I mean, this is an amazing phenomenon, right? Imagine you seeing something like this where you live, right? This is a sign, right? You could call this a sign from God. You could call this divine intervention, whatever you call it. But this is not what you would call, quote unquote, things that we see on a daily basis or quote unquote natural, right? Now, so they talk about pink auroras, right? Let's see what else happened with the same color because we want to keep things, you want to see what's going on. Pink granite sarcophagus unearthed near Cairo, okay? Hailed as dream discovery, okay? 3,300, okay? We're dealing with, look at the number right here. We're dealing with the number six, number of balance. If you are going according to supreme mathematics by the nation of gods of earth, that's right. We are talking about equality, okay? So with the pink sarcophagus, and you have pink auroras, okay? And pink sarcophagus. They just happened to discover on the same day. So pink granite sarcophagus of the ancient Egyptian nobleman Ptah M. Wea. Now Ptah is the word, the voice, right? Today is also, well, I don't even want to let me not get that deep. But Ptah, when we're talking about, is basically the word, right? Basically the othering of speech. Ptah sounds like talk. Talk also sounds like thought. Thought also sounds like walk, right? So we come from people that have a tonal language. So when you hear words that sound the same, right, they usually have the same frequency or the same energy. So it says, has been found in Saqqara. According to the inscriptions on the stone coffin, he acted as the head of treasury under Ramses the Great. Okay, so this is basically saying that now also, which is not here. What is also happening is right now we have a situation where, matter of fact, let me see something. Give me 1 second. Move this. And right now, what's also happening is Jupiter. The planet Jupiter is closest to the sun. It's closest to the Earth as it's ever been in the last 20, I think, last 70 years, right? So with this phenomena, right, it's not, it's like, this is something that you really want to use this time and you want to really be in touch with nature, right? And be in touch with these natural phenomenons so that you know when to tap in. And now is the perfect time for you to be going in, for you to be doing your studies, for you to be reading, for you to be learning. Not necessarily just watching YouTubes, but for you to be learning. And this also ties into Kanye, right? Because Kanye is a billionaire, right? He's a billionaire. And he is, let's go back here. So he's a billionaire, right? So he acted as the head of the treasury under Ramses the Great. Okay. Ramses, for time, I'm not going to go deep into Ramses. You can check out Ramses, how great, why they call him the great, how great of a warrior and a conqueror he was, right? Also, one of his head temples, or his son's temple, was Abu Samel. But again, I don't want to get too deep. All right. So pink and pink. All right. So is it really pink or is it purple? All right. Now this is what it looked like. All right. And you see it has on this, I showed you the little bird. This is, to me, this is my eye, right? Can't really see what's on the head in this picture, but I'm pretty certain that this is my eye, right? So it's basically telling you that this is my eye also deals with balance. My eye also deals with justice. We are in Libra season. Libra is the sign of the scales. Okay. So you're going to see a lot of people getting their justice, getting their just due, right? You're going to see a lot of people forming partnerships and leaving partnerships, right? Also, pink, or a pink, what do you call it? A pink crystal, right? Or damn, what's the name of the pink? I actually have a pink crystal on right now. You guys can see, right? Rose quartz. That's the name of it. Rose quartz. So rose quartz is also going to help you get to that place of balance by healing the heart. All right. So just want to go into this. Just want to tell you what time it is. Also, it's also Yom Kippur. Okay. Yom Kippur is a Jewish holiday. They're actually, all the Jews are going to be fasting tomorrow, the Orthodox Jews. All right. It's a day of atonement. All right. Do now we don't at least on this side, what I don't want anybody to do is bash anybody for their religion or their culture or their way of life. What we do is we invoke energy. So we use their energy, and we use what spiritual things that people are doing, and we figure out a way that we could use this to our own benefit. This is what an alchemist is. An alchemist is not a complainer. An alchemist is not a person that says I can't. They oh, those people, oh, the government, oh, the military, oh, the white man, oh, this, that. No, we figure out how to solve problems. We figure out how to take something and take nothing and turn it to something, turn shit to sugar, so to speak. So it is the Day of Atonement. So whatever you may have to atone for, right? It's a day for you to basically cleanse yourself and cleanse your spirit. So if you want to fast, I'm going to be participating in the fast, right, with them tomorrow. So I won't be eating. It's only up until the night, right? And basically, now if you got to go to work, I wouldn't say do this, right? Abstain from food. Now you could abstain from food and drink. I would say, since I'm dropping this late night, you might want to still drink water, but the food you might want to chill with, right? Of course, lotions and creams, leather footwear, all that stuff doesn't really matter because we're dealing with the inner self. But when you do fast, there is a benefit that instead of the blood uh, in your gut, right? Instead of the blood going to your gut to basically aid in your digestion, now the blood is going to be going up into your brain, which will allow you to not only decalcify your pineal gland, but raise your Kundalini energy, right? Based on what you are taking in during the day today, or as we go on to the week. Also, we got the full moon in Aries coming up this Sunday, right? Aries is all about new things, initiating something new, starting something new, which goes into the topic that you guys are all here for, which is Kanye, right? And we'll get into Kanye. So Kanye came out, right? And he said that. So Kanye came out and Kanye said that I'm going to use the regular term, right? Kanye came out Monday had a Yeezy fashion show, and he had on a shirt with the Pope in the front, Pope Pablo. We're gonna get into that. And he also, after he had that shirt on, or on the back of the shirt, it says "White Lives Matter." Now, obviously, it triggered a lot of people. It went viral. It started trending. A lot of people were mad and upset, boo-hooing, crying. First and foremost, Kanye is not your God, nor should he be, right? He shouldn't be. He's just a man at the end of the day with his own ideas. He's a creative artist, but this is the power of sound, right? This is why this universe is really a light and sound show, because sound stirs the soul, right? When they play the organ at church, it stirs the organs. So when we heard Jesus Walks, when we heard Late Registration, when we heard Devil in a Blue Dress, right? When we heard, or Spaceship, and we were working a job, and I get to I'm on this slave ship. I wish I could fly. I can't sing, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's the emotions behind the songs, right? That gets you hooked. It stirs the soul. That's why people will do anything for musicians, right? You put a musician around women, women will drop their drawers. They'll leave their husbands. They'll leave their whole family and risk it all to sleep with entertainers. And men will do it too with certain entertainers, right? It's just what it is. And it's strictly because of them being musicians and how it moves your soul, right? So light is information. Light is more spiritual, right? So when you are taking in light and you're taking in information, so it's very important what you pay attention to, because whatever you pay attention to, there is an energy exchange. I always talk about this, but repetition breeds memory. Quantum physics, the observer effect. When you are looking at something, it is not real until you actually pay attention to it. Whatever you're not looking at is not real. Once you pay attention to it, now there's an exchange of energy. There's nothing that's void of you exchanging energy with if you are looking at it or paying attention to it. There's always an energy exchange. You have to understand that. Once you understand that, you'll be more judicious with what you pay attention to, when you pay attention to it, and how you pay attention to it. For instance, I just told you it's Yom Kippur. A lot of people are going to be fasting. That means there's going to be a wave of energy. Jewish people, whether you like them or not, whether you hate them, whether you have bias, whatever it is, they are successful, right? They run Hollywood. They run the media. They've been practicing Yom Kippur as a ritual, all right? No different than any type of other magical ritual, all right? So they seem to be successful. So why wouldn't I ride that wave of energy for one day and do what they're doing as far as studying my things, fasting, right? But all I got to do is fast up until tomorrow night when sun sets, and then I could eat again and harness that energy for my own benefit. You understand? This is alchemy. This is not complaining. This is not, how they do what they do. No, I'm going to learn from what they do and apply it to my life. And you should do the same thing too. My suggestion, apply things to your life that you see other cultures do, especially if they're successful, right? Don't down them, crown them, learn from them. Don't hate. Find out. Y'all always say they stole all y'all culture, right? Anyway, you're saying that you were the original Jews anyway, right? So why not take aspects of their culture and incorporate into your own life? Since y'all say this is y'all culture. It just makes sense. All right. So Kanye wore this shirt, said White Lives Matter. People are up in arms. People are going crazy, right? Again, you shouldn't care about what Kanye is doing anyway. He's just an artist. And you're an artist as well, painting your picture in life, right? But people are up in arms, people are mad. And this is because people are caught up in color, right? So let's play this clip, because maybe a lot of people didn't watch this, right? And this is the first curse of the so-called Black community. Let me share my screen. This should look familiar to you as soon as it loads up.
God is black.
God is black. Everybody knows God is white.
Everything the white man taught you, you accepted. He taught you you were a black heathen, and you believed him.
He taught you to worship a blonde, blue-eyed Jesus with white skin, and you believed him. He taught you that black was a curse, and you believed that. Did you ever look up the word black in a dictionary?
For what?
Did you ever study anything that wasn't part of some...
Did you ever look up the word black in a dictionary? This should be a lesson that we've all should have gotten from this movie. I think most people have watched Malcolm X by now, but apparently not. Calling yourself black is a curse, right? It's a curse. Let's get into it.
Con.
What the hell for, man?
Come with me. Black, destitute of light, devoid of color, enveloped in darkness, hence utterly dismal or gloomy, as the future looked black.
Pretty good with them words, ain't you?
Soiled with dirt, foul, sullen, hostile, forbidding, as a black day. Foully or outrageously wicked, as black cruelty, indicating disgrace, dishonor, or culpability. And there's others, black male, black ball, black guard.
Yeah, well, there's something all right.
Let's look up white.
Let's look up white. Let's look up white. Right? Most of you saw this movie, know where he's gonna say, but let's do it for those who haven't.
Here. Read.
White. Of the color of pure snow. Reflecting all the rays of the spectrum. The opposite of black. Free from spot or blemish. Innocent. Pure. Huh. Ain't this something? Without evil intent. Harmless. Honest. Square dealing and honorable. Wait a minute, but this was written by white folks, though, right? I mean, this white folks' book.
It sure ain't no black man's book.
So what we reading this one for?
Because the truth is lying there, if you read behind the word.
Now.
I'm gonna tell you.
Now. So, you see what he said, right? When he was teaching Detroit Red who he was, when he was giving him the basics of knowledge of self. What he showed him, and where he directed him to the dictionary to look up the word black and see what black meant. Dirty, sullen, right? Destitute, lacking, right? When you think about the black community, all those things that are in that dictionary are in the black community. And those that call themselves black seem, for some reason, to demonstrate those particular traits. Okay? Let's go into what we talked about the other day. Etymology, all right? The foundation of words, okay? Grammar. Grammar is a form of speech, right? The word black is part of grammar. Is it not? Of course it is, all right? Let's look it up real quick. Grammar, learning, especially Latin. Okay, so when you're learning, that's a part of grammar, right? So when you're hearing the word black, that's a form of grammar. That's a form of learning. Also, magic, incantations, spells, mumbo jumbo. So the spell that was casted was the spell of blackness, the spell of being called black, the spell of thinking that you are a black person, right? The definition, this is why once I went into law, and we're going to get into that, Alchemist. Once I got into law and read the Black's Law Dictionary, and I saw that black, as he's saying here, and we're going to show you that black meaning dead legally, right? I started calling myself you melanated, right? Not just melanated, because I want to separate myself. And if you guys watch my videos in the past, you know I've been saying you're melanated, you're melanated. If I say black, I try to catch myself because I don't want to associate myself with none of that, right? I don't want to be part of none of that black, none of that black this, black that, because black has not been successful for hundreds and hundreds of years, right? When you have a black business, how many black people actually support it, right? When you have black ops, right, or a military is doing a black op assignment, what are they doing? Something that's hidden, something that's foul, something that you don't know anything about, right? Something that's creepy, right? So the term is not what we're supposed to be. And then when you look at the converse of white, right, it means something totally different. But let's keep going, right? Because Kanye West was at a fashion show, right? Fashion deals with glamour, okay? So let's pull that up. Fashion deals with glamour. So glamour, interesting. Magic, enchantment, off the bat, it tells you what glamour is. So Kanye wore this at his Yeezy fashion show. Magic, enchantment, spell, okay? I showed you that they unearthed the new pharaoh. I showed you what was happening in the sky, right? Yesterday. Well, actually, that happened on the day that he dropped the fashion show, those pink auroras in the sky that I showed you here, that actually happened on the Monday of his fashion show. Okay, that's when this all happened, when we saw these pink auroras pop up. So obviously, that looked just like a bird. Okay, you could see it, and I showed you, or looks just like my aunt. I would say that's my aunt. All right, so this glamour or this spell that he's putting on people, right? Because Kanye's basically conjured up a spell. Now, when we talk about conjure, some people conjure and they don't know they're conjuring. Some people conjure and they are fully aware. When we talk about conjure, what am I talking about? What are you talking about, right? You talking about something sinister? You talking about something evil? Yes or no, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? Conjure can be you cooking up food, right? But you're angry at the person, right? That you're cooking for. Let's say you're a wife that's been abused, right? And you have to cook for this husband that's been abusing you, right? You're going to be angry. You're going to be upset. You're forced to do it, right? That energy in the way you cook, that energy in the way you season, that energy in the way you even cut up the slice the carrots and the onions and the garlic and the pepper, right? To make the food is going to have an energetic resonance, right? So when that person eats the food, right, it's automatically going to lower their vibration. You may not realize it, right? But cooking, when you're cooking food, that's literally like an altar, right? You're putting fire on something and you're letting it burn, right? It's literally like a sacrifice, especially if you're cooking meat, right? You're literally sacrificing that meat, right? So you can eat. So it's a sacrifice. And the energy that you put into it via your breath, the word spirit means breath, or spiritus, to breathe. I say this every video, I'll probably say it forever, right? It's be Latin spiritus means to breathe or the wind. So even just the fact of you breathing on it is conjure. Now, was Kanye trolling? Absolutely. Absolutely, right? I personally think that he was trolling. I think he wanted to get attention, but I also think he wanted to make the point, and that is one of the points, that this whole black thing is a curse, and it's something that we need to really get away from. It's something that we really don't need to. Yeah, Hollow's right. Yep. Don't mess around and get that extra special spaghetti sauce, right? That's a form of conjure, right? If you meet a girl and you just meet her, right? You better not eat no spaghetti and meatballs, my brother. You better not eat that ziti, right? You might want to you might want to pass on that, right? And go to the local Wendy's or something like that, right? Or get you a salad or something like that, right? You might not want to eat that, okay? And don't think that just witches know about this blood thing, right? you go to any group on Facebook that's talking about magic, and all these women, the ratchetest to the ratchetest, and I do a lot of readings for strippers and stuff like that. They know, okay, and they don't know nothing about nothing else, but they know about doing some hoodoo on you, which is what that is, okay? So it's all about, exactly, alchemist. It's all about manipulating energy at the end of the day, right? So he bought this as we have in these new Auroras, as this Egyptian pharaoh who was a treasurer, right? Same color pink. They opened up that coffin, right? So new energy is here. So I showed you how glamorous a spell, which he was at a fashion show. So let's go back into, pull this up. Let's go into, again, more definitions. This is black, okay? So you see it very dark in color, soiled, evil, wicked, right? This is something I hear all the time. What about black magic? Black magic. Especially people are starting off. Black magic. Am I gonna get cursed? Black magic. Isn't black magic evil? Isn't it black magic? Right? You know how many times I've heard that, right? From students and people that took my classes, or people that just know that I'm into this. Black magic, right? Nobody sees that as positive, right? If you tell somebody you're doing black magic, tell somebody you're doing black magic, they're gonna run away from you, especially people that are Christian or just a regular human, right? Regular bottom feeder, 85er, right? Dumb, deaf, and blind, who strictly follows the Bible, who strictly follows whatever's on the news, who strictly follows whatever trends out there, who doesn't understand the law of polarity. You tell them you're doing black magic, they're going to be scared to death, all right? Cheerless and depressing, gloomy, black thoughts, morbid or grimly, right? Marked by anger or sullenness, attended with disaster, calamitous, right? Deserving or indicating or incurring censure or dishonor. Look at the community. Look at the community. Look at the community. It doesn't take long to see that there has been a grammar, incantation, spell put on us, you melanated beings, us God bodies. And it's because we are still using the terms that our masters gave us, okay? We are still we are free physically, but mentally the chains are still there, all right? Mentally the chains are still there. And if you keep going, ain't nothing good, right? Appearing to emanate from a source other than the actual point of origin, sorry. Let's keep going. Black, gloomy, all right, resentful, wicked, okay? Get my point. Now, this is the legal dictionary, the free dictionary, okay? And when you pull up black person, look at the scale. Look at the effing scale, okay? That's not justice, okay? That's showing that the scale is tilted, not in someone's favor, okay? We're in Libra season. So if you look at the Libra sigil or the Libra symbology, you'll notice that the scales are even. But when you said black person, again, this is a legal dictionary. I didn't make this up. Why is the scale looking like this? Why is the scale not right? Because we've been put under a spell. Okay. Again, more. I don't even need this tab, to be honest. We beat this to death, this black thing. Hopefully you understand us. Now let's look at white. Let's look at white. It says a Mongolian is not a white person within the meaning of the term as in the natural law. Now, this is again the law.com dictionary. This is not me saying this. Okay. Citizen, a member of a free city or jural society. Flag of the United States, okay, to establish the flag, naturalization, the act by which an alien is made a citizen of the United States, natives, all persons born within the jurisdiction of the United States, okay, they have range, okay. So all these things are stating that this is what is under white person, okay, and that their white people are only the citizens, they're the flags, right? They have the flag that they're natural born, right? Now we know that that's not true. Okay, we know that that's not true. We know by now with the Dane Callaways of the world and the Sabir Bays and et cetera, that there have been melanated people here forever. Okay, the Seminoles, right, are actually like there's sports teams called the Seminoles, and the Seminoles are actually some warriors, right? They're actually people that were warriors, killers, right? People who fought and fought to the death, right? They're one of the last Native American tribes to actually to actually get conquered, okay? And they're all people that look just like me and you. So when you're talking about right natural citizens or people that are citizens in general, right? This shouldn't just be under the name white, right? And this is the Black's Law Dictionary, okay? You could pick one up yourself. Let's look at free white persons, okay? This is also the Black's Law Dictionary. Free white persons refer to the Naturalization Act. I just showed you what they were talking about as far as naturalization, okay? Naturalization, right here. All right? Let's see what they're talking about. Referred to in Naturalization Act as amended by Act July 14, 1870, all right? Has meaning naturally given to it when it's first used in one stat, blah, 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 meaning all persons belonging to the European races then commonly counted as white and their descendants, okay? Including such descendants in other countries, to which they have emigrated, okay? Now, let's see who it includes. This is free white persons, okay? This is why I titled this video that these are spells of whiteness and blackness. These are verbal spells. Now, remember what I told you. Let's go back before I even get into this whole thing. Let's go back real quick. Which pharaoh has been unearthed? The nobleman Ptah. Again, Ptah is the word. Just like it says in the Bible, John 1:1, in the beginning was the word, and the word was God, and the word became a God. What does science tell you? That there was a big bang, okay? Well, me, when I heard this even in high school, I was like, well, who made the bang? Right? Because the science teacher was trying to sway all of us and say, well, and you gotta, this is why you gotta educate your own kids, because in school they'll try to take your kids away from what you as a parent are teaching, right? But my mom, I was raised by my mom mostly, so she didn't really, she was a Christian, so her head's in the cloud, her brain's already been calcified, right, to the point to where she believes in a white Jesus, right? Because in all the books, Jehovah's Witnesses books, Jesus is white. So, but I was always a person that was a critical thinker. I always thought out the box. I was always thinking abstractly, right? So words are spells. So again, this treasurer was named Ptah Mwea, Ptah being the word, okay, being the speech, right? Being the utterance of the mouth. This is what science would call the Big Bang. So whenever you hear the Big Bang, remember a bang is a sound. So the first thing that occurred once out of quote unquote the waters of Nu, which is basically dark energy or dark matter, what rose out, right? They say it's the hill of Amen, and on that hill, on the top of the hill of Amen, was Ptah, which is basically the sound or the uttering the I am, right? Which we call the I am, or what you would actually call I am is really Om. If you hear I am and speak Om, right? OM, right? Or OHM, or even that is also hidden in the word all right? Right? Same sound, okay? When you hear the same tones, they usually mean the same thing, okay? So let's go back. Let me see if y'all with me. I don't want to lose y'all. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Okay, I see y'all comments. All right, that's what's up. All right, so y'all still there. Okay, good. Now, let's continue. So, we going into, so let's go back, all right? Free white persons, okay? This is why, again, why I say these are spells. And this is why Kanye had to come out and say that. This is why Kanye had to wear that shirt, whether he knows what he's doing or not, whether he's crazy or not, okay? Say he's crazy, whatever. Spirit does not care, okay? When you're talking about spirit coming into you, when you're talking about different spirits and different energies, spirit does not care which vehicle it has to use. It doesn't care if the vehicle is melanated. It doesn't care if, or you melanated. It doesn't care if the vehicle is Caucasian. It doesn't care if the vehicle is Mexican. It doesn't care if the vehicle is Puerto Rican. It doesn't care if the vehicle is Asian. It doesn't care if the vehicle is a motherfucking fox, okay, that just happens to show up somewhere, okay, or like a Black Panther that they haven't. There was a Black Panther when the movie Black Panther dropped, and Black Panthers were endangered. They haven't seen a real natural Black Panther in years. But all of a sudden, when the movie Black Panther dropped, and people were talking about Black Panther, Black Panther, Black Panther, all of a sudden, Black Panthers appeared. The same thing happened for monkeypox. Do you know when monkeypox was announced, there were monkeys fucking up the Japanese people, right? When they announced monkeypox, it was literally monkeys fucking up. They had a problem with monkeys. You could look this up. I ain't gonna pull this up now because y'all be believing shit that people don't pull up anyway. But you could pull that up. So what we say and how we speak, not only about ourselves, it affects the collective conscious. Okay, it affects our consciousness. It affects the world around us. Some of the things that y'all be blaming on HARP, y'all be blaming on CERN, y'all be blaming on the white man, right? It's really you. It's really you and your speech and your conjure, whether you know it or not. Because again, I just showed you grammar is a full spell, is an incantation. So your speech has conjure abilities. Conjure is nothing more than you raising energy to produce something. That's the simplest way to look at conjure. It's not something creepy. It's not something so woo-woo and mystical. You're literally raising the energy that's necessary to manipulate something. Same thing during the George Floyd thing, which is where the whole Black Lives Matter thing came from, right? George Floyd dying, when people were kept saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. What happened? Niggas couldn't breathe. COVID started wiping niggas out much more aggressively than it was before. Okay? Much more, you could look at it when Black Lives Matter, when people started chanting that, how many more you melanated people started dying. It wasn't like that when it first came, but then all of a sudden it started to accelerate. Okay. The collective consciousness and what you say, the utterance in the tongue, the power of the tongue has life and death. All right. So let's go. So all persons belonging to the European races then commonly counted as white and their descendants from which in other countries which they emigrated. All right. So free white persons, who is it? It includes all European Jews, more or less intermixed with people of Celtic, Scandinavian, Teutonic, Iberian, Latin, Greek, and Slavic descent. It also includes Magyars, Lapps, and Finns, and the Basque and Albanians. Okay, Kim Kardashian, the Kardashian family is actually Albanians. Okay, but who else? Who else is under free white persons? Who else? These are all people y'all could say traditionally that the white man told you, right? This boogeyman that y'all call the white man told y'all that y'all were Black, right? And cast a spell. And I'm gonna show you where the spell even originated and how it populated. But who else? It includes the mixed Latin, okay, and that's our Puerto Ricans or Mexicans, right? What they call Latinx nowadays. Celtic Iberian, okay, that's the Irish, and Moorish inhabitants of Spain and Portugal, okay? So the Moors that were in Spain from 711 to 1492 and Portugal around the same time, okay? So basically, and also it says the mixed Greek, Who are they talking about being mixed? Are these not people that are mixed with Moors, so-called Moors or melanated beings, right? Latin, again, Phoenician, or Phoenician is also melanated people, okay? North African inhabitants of Sicily, okay? So North Africans. This is all of the free white people, okay? Moors, North Africans, okay? The mixed Slav, the mixed Greek, okay? And Tartar inhabitants of southern Russia. What else does it say? It does not mean Caucasian race, Aryan race, or any Indo-European races. This is under free white persons. This is in 1870. Let's read this again to show you how these spells work and how you got to speak to yourself. And also, today is Wednesday. Today's the day of Mercury. So today, if you're gonna go under this practice of Yom Kippur, you're gonna fast with your man, your boy, your king. Well, I don't want to say your king, but the king, the god, as I see myself, right? Well, even if you're not, right? Still speak to tomorrow. Go into it speaking to yourself. Look in the mirror, affirm yourself. Tonight, tell yourself you're beautiful. Tell yourself you're handsome. Tell yourself you're wonderful. Tell yourself you're abundant. Tell yourself you don't work hard for money. Money comes to you easily. Tell yourself that you are magnificent and you are magnetic, and you magnetically attract good things to you, and you are able to handle any challenges that come your way because you are magic. Affirmations like a motherfucker, right? And these are things that should be running in your subconscious or running through your daydreams, right? If you do it enough. So these is what they would call white people, okay? Nor the mixed Indo. So it says it does not mean the Caucasian race, Aryan race, or Indo-European races, nor the mixed Indo-European, Dravidian, which is black. These are black Indians, Indo-European, which they're talking about the quote unquote people from India that mixed with Europeans, the Dravidians, which are dark black people. You could look this up. Semitic and Mongolia peoples who inhabit Persia, okay, which Mongolian back then they were considered Asian. All right. So they are segregating certain people, okay, basically on their nationality, not their color, okay? Because if that was the case, they wouldn't be letting Moors, they wouldn't include free white people as Moorish people, okay? Mixed Greek, Latin, Phoenicians, and North Africans, and mixed Slav and Tartars, okay? And excluding Caucasians and Aryans. So nationality was and is always king. Okay, where you from? When you leave America, they don't say that when you leave America, they don't say that you're black, right? When you leave America, you're an American. When I went to Barbados, I was an American. When I went to Antigua, I was an American, right? It wasn't about this avatar body. This avatar is just that, right? If you are in this melanated vehicle, congratulations, right? This life, this experience, this soul, right? That you are walking and having a human experience in, right? The soul where you are having a spiritual experience in, right? Happens to have a human body that is melanated. It just means you happen to be born, put it like this, you happen to be born in Beverly Hills, in the Beverly Hills of spirituality, right? In the Beverly Hills of spiritual capability, I should say. Now, you could be born in Beverly Hills as a child and fuck up your family's legacy and fuck up your family's money and go broke, right? You got a rich father, rich mother, and go through life and fuck it all up. It is what it is. But you could also be a person that grew up in a rich family and for an example, like a Trump, right? His father had money, his mother had money, right? His father gave him $1,000,000. He turned that million into $1 billion, right? He turned that million to $1 billion and into a presidency. Okay. So that's the same thing, even though I'm using Trump, because we're not dealing with whiteness and blackness anymore, right? We're not dealing with the color, because I just showed you the color thing is a spell. Okay, it's really designed to this. It's really a military strategy designed to divide and conquer you. Now you're going to say, well, Ra, what about the injustices that slavery and the systematic racism and blah 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 blah. Well, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it, right? Are you going to sit there and complain? Are you going to sit there and cry? Oh, they kill all our leaders. Well, you got to learn, why did these leaders get killed? Okay, Malcolm, he talked too much. He talked too much on too many people's platforms, right? And he had too many enemies. That's why he died. Malcolm died because people were jealous of his ability to articulate himself, of his ability to command a crowd, of him basically being a bigger personality than his own leader, which was Elijah Muhammad. Go watch Netflix Blood Brothers. Okay, it talks about Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X relationship, and how Muhammad Ali's and Malcolm X relationships got strained because of Malcolm X's ties to Elijah Muhammad, and Muhammad Ali did not want to leave Elijah Muhammad's side. So he even got to the point where he was talking shit about Malcolm X. Okay, very good documentary, right? But these are black people going to war, so-called black people going to war with another so-called black person, right? You see how the spell works, right? How it causes discord, disharmony, all the things that are under the definition of the term black, why we have to reject it, why it shouldn't be something that we even speak out of our mouth, why we should tell our children to call, and you can say whatever, right? Anything except black, right? I don't care if you want to call yourself an alien. I don't care if you want to call yourself a magical being. I don't care if you want to call yourself a god. I don't care if you want to use what I'm using, melanated or you melanated. But it's better than calling yourself black. It's better than calling the community a black community. If you continue to do the same thing over and over and over again, and it doesn't work, what is it called? It's called insanity. It's called insanity. And that's what we've been doing over and over and over again. So you need somebody that's a treasurer, right? That is speaking, and Kanye didn't say anything, right? He just wore a t-shirt. The people started talking, right? The people started using their patah. They started speaking about it, right? And it ended up going viral because it's a conversation that the masses need to have. Now the 85ers, they're just going to see White Lives Matter. They're going to tap into their trauma. They're going to tap into their trauma immediately because, scientifically speaking, there's some people that are hardwired for trauma. The more you engage in trauma, the more you are looking at fight videos, the more you are engaged in people's beef, the more that you are beefing, right? The more that you are beefing with people and causing arguments and things like that, and have a cynical, negative outlook on life, the more you're going to draw that to yourself, right? So most people are strictly following whatever the algorithms tell them. The algorithms on TV, the algorithms that have been placed in their parents, right? The Agent Smiths of the world, right? They're basically following the Agent Smiths, and they're following the programs that have been placed, the algorithms that are here to lead you in the direction that the quote unquote elite, right? Or the powers that were, because the elite is no more, right? You saw what happened to the queen. You see that they don't like the new king, and he's almost out of here. He's like 70 something. He ain't going to be here long. So that thing is toppling, okay? And nature is showing you that that thing is toppling. So now it's time for us to have a new identity, because we've been under the spell so long, we are not creating, right? We are not creating. We're complaining. How you going to come? My thing is this, right? I was on Facebook, and I'll show y'all my Facebook post soon. But my thing is this: how you going to complain, right? How you going to complain on a white man's platform, quote unquote white man? And there ain't nobody really black or white. Let's talk about that too. Nobody's a crayon color. Nobody's white. I've never seen a Caucasian person that was white. Like, I've never seen a Caucasian person that was white like this. Never. Now I've seen some pale ones, very pale, okay, but not white like this. And I'm not black like this either, right? And nobody black ain't nobody black like, well, this is blue, but you know what I'm trying to say. No, wait, pull this. Yeah, you know, I'm not black like this. The darkest dark person isn't black like that, right? If anything, you would say they look more purple. They actually look more indigo, that shiny dark black, that I call it African black, right? Or that shiny dark melanin or that U melanin, right, which makes them shiny. So all these times when we killing ourselves and doing all this crazy shit, right? We're calling ourselves black. We're saying we're black people, right? Black people need to unite. How's that been working? It's a program, it's an algorithm that we've been given. Because this don't say that. This don't say that. This says free white persons if you're a Moor. This says free white persons if you're a mixed Latin, which we know there's people that are in the Latin community. Hopefully, you know that they are very dark, right? Very dark or very dark skinned. Phoenicians, North Africans, right? It wouldn't say that free white persons does not mean Caucasian race. So there's been a spell cast. Let's look at more. What's some more? Okay, in ancient history, a native of Mauritania, a region of northern Africa corresponding to parts of Morocco and Algeria. In later times, one belonging to the people of mixed Berber and Arab race. Okay, Mohammedan in religion, who constitute the bulk of the population of northwestern Africa. Okay, we're talking northwestern Africa. You're talking like Kenya. You're talking Liberia. You're talking Senegal, right? So forth and so on. And it even says, and who in the 8th century conquered Spain. Okay. In the Middle Ages and as late as the 7th century, the Moors were commonly supposed to be mostly black or very swarthy, right? Through the existence of white Moors were recognized, right? But they're mostly black or very swarthy, and hence the word often used for Negro. Okay. So call yourself a Moor, right? I don't believe, I don't want to say belief, but the whole Moorish thing has a lot to do with status, you know, and I'm not going to dive into that because that's not my lane, but there's brothers here who are very good at getting and letting you know what your status is, right, as a Moor and tying you back to Mauritania, right? Alim Al Bay is one of them, and he's here on YouTube. Actually, I think one of these, yeah, actually, this picture is from, I got this from Google, but it's Dr. Alim Bays. Okay, so you can check him out if you want to learn how to change your status, right, to a Moor legally, right? So you could get the legal benefits of not being considered a black, okay? And it says use white Moors. Here's the word often used for Negro, blackamoor, okay? And there's something called blackamoor art, right? If you look this up, blackamoor art, which is basically art of melanated beings, right? That look like the royalty that they are, okay? Or the royalty that we are, but it's not shown here. So when you see something like Saint Maurice, right, things like that, or the name Maurice, things like that, this comes from, and it even says it may possibly from the Latin Morris, okay, may possibly from some ancient North African language, okay. It says black here, but obviously they're showing you how powerful the name Moor is. And it says that a Moorish inhabitant, is a free white person. And it says here that a Moor, right, it says often used for Negro, it says blackamoor right here, it says North African right here. So you put 2 and 2 together, you're going to get 4. Also, it talked about where was that thing about the Berbers? Oh, it says in later times one belonged to the people of mixed Berber and Arab race. Okay, so you may think, oh, mixed Berber and Arabs, oh, they're not just talking about melanated beings, but the Berbers, even them, okay, It says a member of the indigenous people of North Africa. Okay. Afro-Asiatic language of the Berbers. Okay. This is also where you get the term barbarian. You are the original barbarian, melanated being. Okay. You're not a black. Okay. If anything, you are a white. You are white. You're a white person, according to what this says. Okay. You're a white person. Free white, you're a free white person at that. The word barbarian originated in ancient Greece, as was originally used to describe all non-Greek speaking peoples, including Persians, melanated beings, Egyptians, melanated beings, Medes, melanated beings, and Phoenicians, melanated beings. If you study all the history of these people, right, this is why knowledge of self, man, if we turn this shit off. This is why knowledge of self is so important, okay? This is why knowledge of self is important. A lot of people jump off the porch and the first thing they want to do is get into esoteric spirituality. They want to read tarot cards, right? They want to learn how to do a money ritual. They want to learn how to do a love spell. They want to learn how do I become psychic. They want to know about the aliens, right? How you want to know about the aliens, but you don't even know who the fuck you are? You don't even know who you are. You don't even know your own culture. Culture is, we'll get into it. I don't want to get upset. I'm just passionate because it's crazy. You don't know who you are, but you want to talk about all the aliens and what the reptilians are doing and the shapeshifters. Your attention is in the wrong place, my brothers and sisters. Your focus is in the wrong things. Those things are not going to save you. Knowing if let's talk about the reptiles real quick. If Joe Biden tomorrow morning you wake up and you get the alert on your phone, Joe Biden lifted his mask, right? And you saw him as a reptile, tongue hissing and all. What are you gonna do, nigga? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna go on the Caucasians' Facebook. You're gonna go on the Caucasians' Instagram. You're gonna go on the Caucasians' Clubhouse. Let's be honest about this, right? Because we talking all this white talk, white this and white and black this and black that, right? If Joe Biden tomorrow morning lifts his face and you see that he got a whole reptile neck, the skin, the scales, the eyes, everything that y'all talking about, what are you gonna do? You're gonna take your ass to work, or you're gonna continue running your business, or you're gonna gossip at the water cooler with your friends. You're not gonna be able to do nothing. You have no military. You don't have enough finances to topple the government. You're not organized, right? You're divided amongst yourselves between the men and the women, right? Between am I ADOS? Am I FBA? Am I they got a new one now, Secure the Tribe, right? Am I from Africa? Am I a Moor? Why you think in Africa they got all the black people in Africa, but they still ain't together? Because it's not about color. They all look the same. It's not about color. It's about culture. It's about culture. How are you developing yourself? Culture comes from the word agriculture, right? What type of seeds are you planting? Okay. What type of seeds are you planting in yourself? Your nervous system looks just like the tree. It looks just like a tree, right? Your nervous system has little branches on it and everything, and your body is mostly water. So you are literally a submerged, a tree that's submerged in water, right? Now, and that deals with the spinal cord, right? Being attached to that tree, which is the nervous system, which deals with your fight or flight or your rest and digest. So follow me. When your nervous system is under attack and you tell yourself, I'm oppressed, when you tell yourself, right, I'm oppressed. When you tell yourself, and it's, the sad part is when I look on the internet, it's a lot of men that talk, this defeatist talk. Oh, we can't do anything because white people, man, they kill all our leaders. Oh, we can't build Black Wall Street again because the white man, they're gonna burn it down. Oh, we can't. Oh, I can't get with a good woman. You know what I'm saying? The white man got her head messed up. I can't get the girl of my dreams or the man of my dreams. These niggas ain't shit. These bitches ain't shit. This is what we're saying. This is what we're saying. This is the curse of black. This is the curse of black. So is Kanye wrong when he says white lives matter? Is he? Now that we've exposed what white really is, legally, citizen, naturalization, all the things y'all on the internet say that y'all are, Moors, 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 Blackamoor, and that's not even just black, it's Blackamoor. Because at least they're like, yo, we're going to put the more in there so we don't have that spell of black on us. We don't have that spell of black on us. Hell no. Marked by anger and selfness, that seems prevalent. The cheerless and depressing, that seems prevalent. Okay? Nah. Why you think people that come here don't want to be black? The Dominicans and other darker people that or people of darker hues that come here, they don't want to be called black. Because there's a culture and a spell that is surrounding that. Okay. And again, so let's go back to this. You're the original barbarian, okay? The Berber. You're the original barbarian. So when you hear barbarians, right, and you think it's just some savages outside of you, please know that they're talking about you. And these are the people who toppled Rome, okay? So it says late in the Roman Empire, the word barbarian came to refer to all foreigners who lack Greek and Roman traditions, okay? Again, it's about culture, okay? Not color. It's the culture that's important. Did I put that up? Oh, okay, I did. It's the culture, not the color. It's the culture. If it was the color, again, everybody in Africa would be peaceful. Everybody in the hood would get along great. We all the same color, right? We all look the same. We all dark skinned, right? Darker hued. We all are you melanated, but that's not the case. In America, where you see most black people, there's shit that's defined in the dictionary under blackness. So do white lives matter? Yeah, they do. If you understand language and spells and grammar, and you understand we're under a spell. So I asked this. This is my Facebook page, right? I asked this. So you're mad that Kanye wears a shirt that says white lives matter, right? But you lust for and wear Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga, Louboutin red bottoms, and Versace. So those ain't masses house clothes for ninjas who think that they made it to the big time house, right? I'm just asking. I just asked the question, right? I just asked the question. Because if you say that you're mad that Kanye is wearing a shirt that says white lives matter, then you have to be mad at the tag on your shirt that says Gucci, that says Louis, that says Balenciaga, that says Versace, right? When the field Negro got promoted to Master's house, the first thing that he did was wear Master's clothes to show that he's somebody, to show that he's different than the Negroes in the field. To be divided, again, it's a form of divide and conquer, right? Give a dog a bone, right? And that's how they do it. I remember as a youth, As a dope boy, that's how they did it. You know, the older dope boys would give you a little something. You know what I'm saying? They'll give you about a half ounce of weed. You know, when you first start off, or give you a couple of bags of weed, or they might slide you $100 or whatever to keep you coming back. It's an incentive, right? It's called incentivizing. But you can't be mad at a shirt that says White Lives Matter when you're wearing a Gucci shirt with white angels. Like, are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me? The hypocrisy. The hypocrisy. But people don't think abstractly. In order for you to come into your godhood, in order for you to come into your divinity, you have to really erase everything that you need to, that you think you know. In tarot, they have something called the Fool card. The Fool card basically is the beginning. It's the 0 point of the tarot deck. And when you go out into this world, you have to have the understanding that. And when I was, let me put it like this. When I was 24, 25, I thought I knew everything. Yeah. I thought I knew everything. I was well read. People that around me wasn't well read. I know a lot of history, a lot more. I forgot a lot more of the history that I knew. I know a lot of African history, a lot of history, just in general, right? And I thought I knew everything. And now that I'm a man of a certain age, I realize I didn't know shit. I thought I knew a lot. It was a decent foundation, but I realized I didn't know everything. And that's what this is really about. It's about learning, unlearning, and relearning. Learning, unlearning, and relearning. That's it. That's it. Bit of truth. Shout out to you. They trolling us because they know people think black and white has something to do with complexion. Kanye is talking about freedom matters. White and black is a stat. That's it. Right. Bit of truth. That's it. It's a status. But more important than a status, it's a spell. That's what I want you to understand, that it's magic. All the black magic that people talk about they're scared of, that's what the fuck is black. Screaming Black Lives Matter, did that do anything? Was there anything magical that you've seen happen? All they did was paint a couple of basketball courts, paint a couple of streets with dead ancestors. The dead ancestors, write their names on some streets, write their names on some corners, and that's it. Create a boulevard in Washington called Black Lives Matter Boulevard. Did the organization Black Lives Matter do anything? It was a scam, right? It was a scam. It was a scam. It was a scam. And we got to be real about that, right? They did nothing. Black Lives Matter, from my perspective, the George Floyd thing was a ritual. I did a video about that way back. The George Floyd thing was a ritual. You could look at the numerology, you could look at the timing, all that, right? His connections to Freemasons, all that, right? George Floyd was a ritual. In order for Black Lives Matter organization to get pumped up, in order for people to donate to the Black Lives Matter organization, which in turn, Joe Biden had raised the most money of any candidate ever, any presidential candidate ever. Joe Biden, this guy that you see on TV that doesn't know where he's going, doesn't know his left, right, up, or down. Joe Biden. This guy raised the most money. Now, I would think it would be somebody like Trump, Obama, charismatic people, right? Joe Biden is as dull as watching Joe Biden is as dull as watching paint dry, right? I'd rather watch paint dry than watch Joe Biden give a speech. So how did he raise all that money? He got it from Black Lives Matter. That's how he raised all that money. And you see they didn't do shit after that. Not a thing. And if you look at their mission statement about destroying the nuclear family, right, and lesbianism, right, but yet they were using the death of Trayvon Martin as a starting point, okay? So they basically, so it's all a setup, you know what I'm saying? It's all a setup. And it's beyond, I'm definitely, like, I'm using the legal ramifications, but it's beyond even just the law, right? It's magic, it's sorcery at the highest level. And we need to break out of it, okay? So now you understand that you are the original barbarian. Now that you understand that Gucci, Louis, Prada, and all that is literally wearing masses' clothes. That's what it is. Matter of fact, Caucasian people don't even wear Gucci, Louis, and Prada the way melanated people do. So it says something about our psyche. It says something about our mental slavery. We are some of the most creative people on the planet. Some of the most creative people on planet Earth. And we still wearing masses' clothes. Because psychologically, right, they taught us that that is luxury. Another spell, glamour, is another spell. And they taught us that that is luxury. So my boy Ye says everyone knows that Black Lives Matter is a scam. I agree with you, my brother. It was, okay? And he said now it's over, okay? So he wore a White Lives Matter t-shirt. Do I think the man that said George Bush doesn't care about black people? Do I think the man who was raised by a mother who was a Black Panther, who loves his mother to death, and his father was a Black Panther, whose mother's also an educator? I'm talking about Kanye. And when we say things, we really got to think about people's track history. Now, I know people have an issue with him saying that slavery was a choice, but for Frederick Douglass, it was. Right? For Frederick Douglass, slavery was a choice. For Harriet Tubman, slavery was a choice. Now, people say Harriet Tubman didn't exist or whatever, right? But for Nat Turner, right? For Denmark Vesey, for all the other freedom fighters and histories and ancestors that we don't know their names, but fought and contributed to the fight, they said to them slavery was a choice. I mean, tell me if I'm lying. If I'm lying, I'll shut up. If he was wrong about that statement, I will tell me in the comments I'm wrong. I will look, if you make an argument that Frederick Douglass didn't think that slavery was a choice, you could make a compelling argument, not something emotional, but a compelling argument that slavery wasn't a choice. I will listen, I'll back off that. But you can't, right? Because many people fought and ran and struggled and fought slavery. If they didn't, we wouldn't be here on YouTube talking the way we're talking in this free manner, right? Well, free to a degree, because I can't say that COVID word, but you know what I'm saying. So freedom, so there's nothing really free, right? There's always boundaries and restrictions, even in this physical human avatar, right? But you could break those restrictions through meditation and astral travel and those type of things, right? But there are even to that, there's restrictions in how far you could astral travel, right? But that's another story for another time. So again, what did he really say wrong when he said slavery was a choice? Okay. So he basically wanted to destroy Black Lives Matter. I know people don't like Candace Owens, I'm not going to get into that. But let's continue going, okay? Because let's see what else he was doing, all right? So this is his Instagram. He said, spank my hand with the rulers, okay? Which I thought that was interesting that he said the rulers. Because he's trying to tell you that the people that cast this spell know what they're doing, okay? They know that it's not about color. They know that it's about culture. But they'll have you think that it's color, and they'll have you in a black trap or a black box. The black box is so sinister, yo. It's more sinister than y'all even think, right? It's more sinister than y'all even think. The black box is when people think blackness, people think that we all have to think alike, right? Oh, you don't like Kanye? I don't like him either. You don't like Trump? I don't like him either. You don't like Lizzo? I don't, or you like Lizzo? I like her too, or I don't like her either, right? You have to think the same way. You have to operate it with the same mindset. Do black people, right? We're not even talking about the melanated. Let's use the curse term, right? Do black people value education? Or do they value the bullshit? Let's keep it real. And as a kid, I was one of the smartest people in my class. My mom taught me how to read at the age of 3. I was reading the paper at the age of 3. Facts. I don't got to lie to y'all. Okay? I don't got to lie to y'all. I actually was supposed to skip a grade, but I had other issues, behavioral issues, right? And once you know how to read that young, and you're going in school, I was answering all the questions and raising my hand, and I realized that damn, nobody else could answer the questions. Nobody else was raising their hands. It stunted my motherfucking growth. Being in a public school is probably one of the worst things that happened to me, as far as growth is concerned, to be honest with you. Because I was around nothing but black people. And even though my mother laid the foundation, right, the collective, and this is the power of a collective, and this is the power of company, and this is the power of people that you're around. The collective didn't recognize my gift, right? Even the teachers, they were more focused on the kids that were doing the fucked up shit, right, in class, right? I remember this vividly. So this whole, yeah, great goodness, you're right. Crabs in a barrel, right? Crabs in a motherfucking barrel. That's what it is, right? So this is the curse of black. This is the curse of blackness. This is the curse of using the term black. I don't care what anybody says. You can't convince me in any way, shape, or form that calling yourself black is good. That saying you're a black community is good. If I start a business, I'm gonna do just like all the other successful cultures. When I start a business outside of this, I'm not gonna use no term. I'm not gonna call it a black business. It's going to be attached to some sort of deity, just like they have Sirius Radio, just like they use the Rock of Gibraltar, which is a melanated person, named after a melanated person, by the way, right? Just like they have all Starbucks that with Yemaya, the deity Yemaya as the logo, right? They don't call them their businesses. Even the most racist of racist people don't call their businesses white businesses or Caucasian businesses, because everybody's money is green. It's not about color. It's about culture. You go buy a dashiki, right? You think you buying the dashiki from a melanated person? Buying onks and stuff. Even some of these crystals. You think you buying them from or getting them from a melanated person? A black-owned business? Some of these books we're reading to study spirituality, they're not all from quote unquote black people. I'm just doing my part to awaken. Whether if it offends or not, it is what it is. You can challenge me. All right. Put it in the comments. So he has this right here, okay, this sculpture, which is, again, if you buy a Versace shirt, I've seen many of Versace shirts, you'll see this white boy on the shirt. Okay, many Negroes wearing it. Okay, many Negroes are wearing them right now in the club somewhere. Okay, wearing masses clothes. So stop it. White lives do matter to niggas, especially. Until we start creating more things of our own, Until we start building and realizing that we are beyond even a color, that we are gods and goddesses, that we are kings, that we are the spirit of the divine housed in this physical being. And the more of us wake up to that and stop worried about this racial thing and start uniting on people's uniting on based on people's spirits and based on people's energy, you could still be apologetically who you are. You could still be apologetically a humiliated being and embrace your culture, because it's about culture, just like Italians do, just like Jewish do, just like the Irish do, right? I live in New York City. I know for a fact from working on Wall Street, Jewish people don't like white people. Jewish people don't like regular Caucasian white people born here. They both look the same. Irish people don't like regular Jewish Caucasian people. The Italians don't like the Jewish people. They all be what you would call quote unquote white, right? The Albanians out here in the Bronx and Pelham Parkway don't like Jews or Caucasians or Europeans, right? They only fuck with Albanians. They are white. Culture, not color. Even though they all look the same, they have a different culture. A Hasidic Jew is not the same as Steven Spielberg. Kanye says, spank my hand with the rulers. I'll go sit in the principal's office. Can we talk about more important things on how late the show was, or how Bernard Arnault killed my best friend? Okay. And what he's talking about is he's talking about Virgil Abloh, rest in power. Okay. He's talking about Bernard Arnault is the head of LVMH. That's Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy. What do niggas love more than Louis Vuitton, Moet, or Hennessy? Let's really talk about these spells that's being cast, who's really doing witchcraft and who's really doing magic and who's not. Okay? Because they're definitely doing it. But it's not about what they're doing. What are you doing? Okay? Because it's very easy to point the finger. Whenever you point the finger, four pointing back at you, which means you're ultimately responsible, right? The weight of the four fingers pointing back at you is saying that you got to do something. You got to problem solve. You got to build. You got to create. So he's saying that Bernard Arnault, the head of LVMH, Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, killed my best friend. Everybody's got the right to opinion. That's mine. Does this seem like a man that, and again, I'm just pointing out the facts. Does this seem like a man that's a sellout? Does it seem like a man that hates black people? Does it seem like a man that is a coon, an Uncle Ruckus, right? I heard all type of shit on the internet, right? To expose something like this, in my opinion, Kanye better watch his back. Like, seriously, okay? Because he's messing with some high-level magicians, high-level sorcerers, okay? And I don't know what type of protection he has around him spiritually, but I hope he does, all right? This is also on his Instagram, okay? Now, let's make sure, okay, I'm sharing it. This is also on his Instagram. Now, look at what's on the homie's back. I don't even want to call him the homie, but look what's on this dude's back. This looks like a reverse Kabbalah or reverse tree of life, all right? Now, you're talking about, this is Kanye West now, okay? He's exposing something, okay? The coffin has been opened. The coffin has been opened. Ptah has to speak. The sarcophagus has been opened, okay? The sky has been opened. It is the scales, the justice, okay? Ptah has to speak. Okay, so he has this picture up, which I'm sure he's not supposed to put out, okay? And he goes, LVMH is trying to kill my friends one by one. Okay, said Matt, I didn't like the way whoever that is, Sidney Toledano, spoke to you before the show the other day, and they forced you to make clothes that weren't you, and Kim Jones watered down, and Eli be clout chasing. Everybody got an opinion, right? I'm the press now. All right. So he's exposing what's going on. He's exposing the ritual killings. He's exposing the spirit cookings. But you have to have eyes to see. When I see people talk about race and in the ways that are I don't want to say, when I hear people talk about race in ways that are still matrix, they're still caught in the matrix, right? They're still caught in an algorithm, in a program. And there's a black program. Like there's programs, if you're pro-black, the internet got an algorithm for you. Trust me. When you log on and you're pro-black and you're liking all the pro-black stuff, and yeah, black people this, and yeah, let's do that. Yeah, Black Lives Matter. There's an algorithm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of them, Twitter, all of them, where they feed you information to support that. They feed you information to divide and conquer you. This is not a time for race war or race division. This is a time where it's literally the powers that were trying to fight for survival because they know their time is up. You can see that their time is up. You see they're an embarrassment across the world, right? Even the whole royal family thing, you saw that they were breaking down. I mean, if you saw the royal family funeral, it was a sham. One of the security guards fell out, right? A spider was on Queen Elizabeth's coffin. Prince Charles was wobbling. He could barely stand up, right? It didn't go the way that they expected. It didn't go the way they expected. But normally you didn't see these things happening because because the universe is trying to show those who have three eyes that it's falling. It's falling. Their time is up. But we have to build new foundations. We have to build new squares. We can't keep thinking. We can't keep thinking like slaves. We can't keep thinking like mental slaves. I mean, when is the next? What kid is gonna? It's gonna happen, but what kid is gonna be the next tech giant that makes something poppin'? What child is gonna be the tech giant that makes something pop? Okay, why isn't there a melanated social media space where I could go to and it's popping like Instagram, was popping like Facebook, or it's popping like Twitter, or it's popping like Clubhouse. Clubhouse blew up off melanated people. Let's be clear. Clubhouse was nothing until melanated people got on the app. I seen that in real time. Nothing. 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 Until melanated people got on the app. You mean to tell me none of us are genius enough to create an app with a couple of rappers or something and blow it up? But we not using three eyes. We using only two. We not using our creative vision. And that's because we're not tapped into our creative vision. Our inner water is dirty. Our inner water is dirty. Not only from dirty food, right? Not only from the food that we're eating and the diets that we're eating, right? That's messing up our biochemicals, our biochemical body, right? But also the things that we're taking in, the things that we're looking at, that we're watching, that we're reading, that we're feeding our mind on. Most of us are just running through the day. And you don't even take time to meditate. You don't take time for silence for yourself. You don't take time to sit down and read and study. You don't take time out in nature. You're just running. And the only time you stop is when you sleep. And even then, you got the TV on the radio on, some of y'all. So your brain is constantly running on someone else's program. But the only way you get out is to go within. This is why meditation is important. This is why studying the self, your history, is important. The culture, you know, the way you know your spiritual culture is what you resonate with. When I was a little kid, I saw the pyramids in Kemet, right? I didn't know what they were. I didn't know nothing about Egypt or where it is. I just knew I was attracted. And as I got older and started studying more and learning more, I realized I was more attracted to that and those cultures. Some people it's Ifa, right? And it's Voodoo, right? Some people it's Santeria. Some people it's Candomblé. Everybody has, some people it's, you know, shamanism. It's whatever you resonates with you, but the only way you're going to find that out is if you do the soul searching. And by doing the soul searching is going within and doing introspection. The word educate, educe, is to come from within, to educe something. Educate is to come from within. I'm not really telling you nothing. All I'm doing is reminding you of who you are. And if you resonate with it and you nod your head and you hit the like button, that's only because that's already in you. I'm just a guide, but that's already in you. So the inner waters and our nervous system, our inner tree, right? Matter of fact, let's do this real quick. This is your nervous system. Okay? This is your tree, your inner tree. Inside this inner tree is water. All right? Your body's made of 70% water. So you literally water your inner tree via your emotions. This is why Neville Goddard has a book called Feeling is the Secret, right? This is why on the Kabbalah, right? One of the spheres on the Kabbalah is Netzach. This would be Het Heru, right? And that's basically has everything to do, and that's also what you call your Oshun, if you're using your Aruba or Voodoo, right? That's your Oshun, which deals with feeling, which deals with emotion, which deals with fertility, which deals with joy, which deals with happiness, right? So these things nurture your tree, right? Had, I mean not Had, Yesad or Yemaya, which is on the bottom of the tree, deals with water. Okay. And the other, and this is just the bottom triangle on the tree I'm talking about. Had, I think I have the tree. Actually, I do. Yeah. So Yemaya is right here. Water. Okay. Yesad. Feeling is right here. Oshun. I'm saying this just for, you know, give you kind of Oshun, Heheru. So, where if you don't know what I'm talking about, hopefully you catch one of the three things I'm referencing, right? Netzach, right? Emotions, feelings. Had, right? Sobek. This is also a legba or Papa legba in Haiti, right? Road opener, right? Thoughts, thinking, ideas, right? Left brain, right brain, body, right? Emotional, left brain, right brain, emotional, but the waters, the emotional body, your devotion, how your flow state is, how you flowing, right? How you flowing? Are you flowing with how you flowing, right? Your thoughts and all that. This is all your flow state, which leads you to how you're going to shine, your beauty, your tiferet. The people that you call dusty, right? The reason they're dusty is because they're not nurturing themselves, so their nervous system ain't got no glow, right? Because when your water's and your inner water's dirty, right? Your nervous system, your kundalini doesn't rise, right? Your kundalini doesn't rise to the top of your brain. So your pineal gland doesn't give off DMT. It doesn't give off copper, doesn't give off gold, doesn't give off, well, it gives it off, but very, very little, right? Because you haven't raised your kundalini, right? Via your thoughts, your positive thoughts, via your positive emotions, right? To cause your nervous system to branch, to glow, right? to be rested, right? The same way you would nurture a tree, right? With water, right? And light. Light is information. Light is information. Light is information. Light is information. Okay. And water feeds the soul. That's also sound, right? Light and sound is mainly how you interact with your environment. Okay. So when you continue to say what you can't do and that you're oppressed and that the system is holding you down and you're talking about systematic racism and this and that, I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I'm not saying that prejudice doesn't exist, right? That would be foolish to say. But if you are a magical being, if you are a person that believes, or not even believes, that knows that God is in you, and you are one with God, you are one with the divine, you are one with the universe, you are made of stardust, then what limit do you have? What's systematic racism going to do to a God? What's racism going to do to a God? A God's going to problem solve and create. God's main function is creation. God's main function is creation. And if you can talk, let's talk about your melanin, right? Your melanin is the same as chlorophyll. It has the same function as chlorophyll. It takes light and converts it to energy, just like the chlorophyll in the plant. So you're literally like a big ass walking tree. You are Groot. Say it with me. I am Groot. So now you understand now when you look at Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy, you understand what he's referencing, which is really the nervous system, right? This is why he doesn't talk. This is why he only says I am Groot, because he's basically operating off his emotions, right? Which is what the nervous system represents. And the waters of your soul represent not just the waters of your soul is basically your foundation, right? How you talk about yourself, where you speak about yourself, right? Things like that, which all lead to your emotions in general. So let's continue. Go back into Kanye. Hopefully that made sense. Let me see what y'all talking about. How about y'all? Okay, I still got y'all here. All right. So, shout out to Raj. What's up, Raj? All right. So Kanye clapping. All right, he's clapping. He's clapping. He's clapping at LVMH. Very powerful, very powerful, very powerful fashion house. I told y'all, glamour is a spell. Okay, so whenever you see magic, enchantment, spell, so whenever you see these fashion shows, it's conjure basically. And what they're conjuring, right, is they're conjuring how they want the future to look, how they want you to see yourself in the future, how they want you to dress in the future, right? They said when you dress good, you feel good, right? So dressing has an emotional component to it, okay? Has an emotional component to you. It deals with, again, your flow state. It deals with your inner waters, okay? It deals with your nervous system. All comes together, okay? How are you watering your soul? What type of things are you listening to? How are you type of light? What type of glamour are you taking in on a day-to-day basis? This is not about, again, being perfect. You're already born perfect, right? This is about mastering the self and understanding the self so you can make changes. So glamour, when you see these fashion shows, there's a spell. I remember when I did a show with Dreamwise. This is when the whole Roni thing first started. And when the Roni thing first started, I remember he was showing me fashion shows of masks, right? Of them putting on the mask. This before it blew up and there was and they shut everything down and all that, right? This was like the beginning stages of it. I think Fashion Week is usually in around February. I might be off, right? But it's usually, I know it's in the winter because it happens here in New York, but it's usually like around February-ish, sometime February, maybe Marches. And the Roni hit in May. So they already have the mask and everything set up, right? And I'm going to get into why I'm talking about that. But they already conjured up what the next 2020 to 2021 would be, right? So they already cast that spell. They already knew what was going to happen. And all these models had on masks, right? They all had different type of masks. And I remember I was on a panel and I was saying, oh, because in my mind, even then, this was in early 2020 when I did that video on Dreamwatch channel. And I remember even then, I didn't believe, I was like, they just talking about it's going to pass. And that was my mindset. And some people clown me because when it did get locked down and people said it was real, people was like, oh yeah, he said it wasn't real. It wasn't going to be a big deal. But in my mind, it wasn't. And guess what? To date, I've never caught it, right? I've never taken a test, right? I've never did other things, right? But I've never caught it. I've never had any bouts. This is not to say I'm better than anyone. This is just my mindset. Okay. And I was prepared from it spiritually. Okay. I already got the download on what I needed to eat before that time came. So my diet changed. Spiritually, my diet had changed that new year of 2020 for some odd reason, but it wasn't for some odd reason. Okay. I was being protected. So he's clapping, he's going to war. Okay. Which is what he says here. And he's exposing that basically he's saying LVMH killed Virgil. Okay. Very bold statement to make. And he's exposing everything. So this ain't the coon y'all talking about. Let me turn the volume down. Fair use. So he was at the Balenciaga show. This was on the 2nd. So I guess this was Saturday that passed. Okay. So it says Kanye West makes Runway debut at Balenciaga show. Now I see Balenciaga on all these pop artists. As you guys probably know, a lot of them have taken the oath, right? The oath is just the pledge to be part of a secret fraternity. Doesn't mean that these artists are cognizant of what they're really signing up for, right? We give a lot of these artists and these musicians too much credit and too much genius status. If they're taking a picture, right, and that right eye, you see a lot of them with the right eye, with the right eye shut down, right, like that, or they're doing something like that, right? A lot of times it's just the person behind the camera saying, take the picture like that, or take this type of picture. They don't know what they're doing. If you look at Jay-Z's video, On to the Next One, it's full of occult symbolism. The video, On to the Next One, On to the next, on. That video has occult symbolism all in it. You think Jay-Z wrote the treatment? You think he knows exactly what's going on? Even though, yes, he is part of those secret societies. Yes, he has taken the oath. If you want to know who's part of the secret societies, all you have to do is look at a lot of let me not say that. Let me shut up. But there's ways you'll know, right? And it's not hard. You just have to understand symbolism. I'll just put it that way. But this is where he was. And so once I saw this, I was like, oh, they're conjuring up the same thing they conjured before with the mask. And let's just show you. So this is Kanye walking. Look at what he has on. What do you think is going to happen after the stock market crashes, which is what I'm predicting, and they go into coins? I don't know if y'all seen what's been happening in Russia with them blowing up this canal of oil. I don't know if y'all seen what's been happening with North Korea firing missiles over China and Japan recently. It's tense out there. The Ukraine thing is still popping. Okay. This is the aftermath of war. Okay. Dirty, grimy, grungy, disgusting. Let's see what they're talking about, though. This ain't just regular fashion. Look at these people, okay? Walking in the mud, all right? It's very dystopian. Let's see what they say about it, okay? So he explained the mud as a metaphor for digging for truth and being down to earth. This was Balenciaga's creative director. All right. Now, that's easy to say, But you could have done that a lot more ways than to have this guy wearing military gear, okay, wearing survival gear. I don't want to play audio, but wearing something like this as fashion, okay? Who's going to really wear this unless they are going through war? So be on the lookout of what's going to be manufactured over the next couple of months, okay? I firmly believe that the dark winter that Joe Biden was talking about is actually going to be now, okay? It's actually going to be what's going to happen this year, okay? There's already food. There's already, I don't know if you guys been to the store, but 99 cents bag of Utz chips. There was just 99 cents last year. It's $2.29. That's a hell of a markup. And I'm just talking about one bag of chips. Let's not talk about just all the other food and juice and everything else that's in the grocery store. Bananas damn near 75 cents now, just for one. So as these prices keep going higher and higher, and more people keep getting squeezed, and there's more and more crime nowadays. I don't know about your city, but in New York, it's got them out here, right? This suit, right, that Kanye's wearing looks like more and more of a reality, right? This looks like the aftermath of war. So this is Conjure, folks. And if you read this article, I'm not going to go into it, but they talk about how the walls and everything had slime and stuff oozing from it to create a mood, to create energy, to conjure energy to make this a reality. So don't think it's innocent, okay? And don't think everything Kanye's doing is not tied to this. It's not tied to the same war theme. He told you already. Like when he said, I done told you, I am a god. He done told you. When I said war, I meant war. And he's going to war with these spells. And he's taking possession and he's invoking certain things as well. Because when we look, all right, we're going to get to this. Let's go to my email. Because I got some pictures in here. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Yeah, Great Goodness said it looks like spacesuits. Yeah, it does look like spacesuits, right? And also remember them quizzes, Facebook quizzes, one of them predicted when people would die. Yep, exactly. All right, now let's go let's pull this up. Oh, damn, I don't want y'all to see everything in my inbox. Hold up, let me remove this real quick. I don't want y'all to see everything in my inbox now. Hold up, Big Swoller. All right, hold on, get this up. All right, here we go. All right, now remember, also this is something Kanye did. Okay, with him wearing the flag, the Confederate flag. All right, he supported Republicans. Now, me personally, my personal thing, you don't have to agree with me. Trump did more for black people than from my studies and looking at the last 3 presidents combined, including Obama. And as being a person who was locked up formerly myself, the fact that he freed so many prisoners, melanated prisoners, right? The fact that he gave money to HBCUs when they were begging for money from the Democrats, right? What else? The fact that he built these empowerment zones in urban neighborhoods where you could start your business and get funding, right? And most importantly, whether now Trump racist, I don't think he was racist. I think Trump was more so prejudiced, meaning that he thought he was better than melanated people, right? I I believe that to be a fact. I believe that he thinks he's better than melanated people, right? But the key thing about Trump is this. Trump could be manipulated and Trump could be negotiated with. You're not going to be able to do that with Joe and Kamala. You're not going to be able to do that with Obama. You weren't able to do that with Obama. You weren't able to do that with the Bushes. You weren't able to do that with the Clintons. People have been looking for laws to free people for years. And then Trump comes in and with one fell swoop, one meeting with Kim Kardashian, right? Kanye pimped, Kanye pimped his bitch, sent her to Trump, right? And got the law passed to free millions, well, I don't know about millions, but thousands of melanated people from unjust sentences, from draconian sentences. Now, was he doing it for a political reason? Was it selfish? Absolutely. But again, spirit doesn't care who it uses, right? I don't care about his personal feelings. I don't care if he doesn't like me. How many bosses, you think every boss or company that you work for, the boss or the head of the company likes you? Likes melanated people? What can you get done? Is the check going to be there on Friday? Is the check going to be there on Friday? That's what I care about. Is the check going to be there on Friday? Is the direct deposit going to be in my bank account on Friday? I don't give a damn about your personal politics. I don't give a damn about your identity politics. We got to get out of identity politics. And that's what he's been trying to deconstruct, right? So he has the Confederate flag right here. Let's go into that. Y'all see I got the flag right there. This is actually a black melanated flag. You see it says Blackland right here from the 18th Alabama Infantry flag. You can pull this up. I got this off of Google. I'm not making it up. All right. Chickamauga, the Chickamauga flag. Okay. So he's been ahead of the curve. Let's go into the shirt. Okay. This is who's on it. Juan Pablo. All right. Who is Juan Pablo or John Paul II, right? John Paul, Juan Pablo in Spanish. Kanye also has a album, right, called, what's the name of that album? Pablo something, right? Something Pablo, Life of Pablo, Lifestyle of Pablo, or something like that. Banging out. I like one of his albums that I really like, but I forgot the name of it. But this is John Pablo. But who is John Pablo? We're talking about spells. We're talking about magic, right? You got Candace Owens here. I know. Y'all may hate Cal and Candace Owens. I don't have, again, the Kabbalion, right? There's 7 universal laws. Mentalism, vibration, polarity, cause and effect, correspondence, gender, rhythm. The law of polarity states that there are equal and opposite poles of everything. Light, dark, hot, cold, night, day, right? So 2 things can be true, right? That it's going to be warm in the daytime and that it's going to be cold at night, right? Or colder at night, right? 2 things can be true, okay? Everything doesn't have to be one way. So with Candace Owens, me personally, there's things that she says that I totally agree with 100%. And there's things that she says that I totally discard and throw in the garbage and say she's a coon, right? So 2 things can be true. She could have some coon moments and she could have some very, very hot, intelligent, well thought out takes about current events and culture. 2 things can be true. So I don't have to hate her. I could chew the meat, spit out the bones. We got to get out of the culture of personality, right? That's how we lose. We think everybody has to, again, that's part of that black box. You know, we think we got to, if they don't agree with everything or they don't say everything that we need them to say, it's a bad thing, which that's hardly the case. All right. Let's talk about the homie, though, the Pope, and get back into the spellcasting. Now, this is from I don't know if y'all can see me, but let me show y'all where this is from real quick. So this is from this book. This book is called, one of the best books out here, Secret. I don't want to lose the page, but it's called The Secret History of the World. The Illustrated Secret History of the World. Dope book. This is the back. They got a lot of visuals in here. Very, very dope book. Very, very, very dope book. All right. Secret History of the World. Highly recommend you get it. It's only like $20-something. You could probably get it used for cheaper. But, you know, these books, they getting more and more expensive. Who sued the school? Who sued the school, Raj? Hold up. Use the bathroom real quick. I'll be back. Be right back, y'all. All right, thank you for your patience. Oh, you talking about Candace Owens? Okay, so you said Candace Owens sued her school back in the day for racial discrimination, and she got a big bag. Yeah, she ain't no fool, man. She ain't no fool. So a lot of things she says on point. Yeah. So anyway, so we're gonna go back. We reading from this book, Secret History of the World, and it says, "Is the Pope Catholic?" Oh shit, I'm not sharing this, am I? Let's do that. So it says, "Is the Pope Catholic?" Remember, we're talking about the Pope that's on the cover of Kanye's shirt. So it says, "The Pope Catholic?" Well, not in no straightforward way you might think. One morning in 1939, a young man aged 21 was walking down the street when a truck drove into him and knocked him down. While in a coma, he had an overwhelming mystical experience. When he came round, he recognized that although it had come about in an unexpected way, this experience was what he had been led to expect as the fruit of techniques taught to him by his mentor. I don't know his name, is a modern Rosicrucian master. Now, Rosicrucian, they have something called the Rose Cross or the Rosie Cross. I talked about this in my Queen Elizabeth Death Decoded video, so you can check that out to get more into that. But basically, a Rosicrucian is an occultist. A Rosicrucian is a magus. These are people who deal with the esoteric arts, right? Signs, symbols, nature magic, right? Spell work, etc., etc. glamour, grammar, conjure, right? All those things, right? So this is talking about the Pope. Is the Pope Catholic? This is the question is highlighted. Okay. It says, so he says basically the Pope got knocked down in the street. They said he's saying he had a mystical experience when he was in a coma, right? And it says this experience was what he had been led to expect as the fruit of techniques taught him by his mentor, which was a modern Rosicrucian master. As a result of his mystical experience, the young man joined a seminary, later became Bishop of Krakow, then later still Pope John Paul or Pope Juan Pablo II. Pope John Paul, Pope Juan Pablo II. There's also an illustration in this book right here, all about Pope Juan Pablo. Okay, and this is from the book right here. Okay, so this is definitely one you want to get though. Illustrated Secret History of the World. Definitely one of them. This is one of them books. This is one of them books you want to have. Mark Booth, Lady B. The author is Mark Booth, Booth. The Illustrated Secret History of the World. All right. Yeah, no, Hollow. I'm not familiar with that. You gotta put me on. Send me an email or a message or something, man. Let me know. Let me know because I'm not familiar with that, but I definitely want to know. All right, so Juan Pablo is John Paul II, who was a modern Rosicrucian. So if you're Catholic, I'm sorry to tell you, but your Pope is an esoteric king. All right, and this was the Balenciaga soul, digging for truth and being down to earth. All right. He's saying it's become, so the culture has become his couture, right? Notice it sounds like culture. Couture, which is just a style of fashion, couture fashion, luxury fashion, couture. Has become his experiment with Balenciaga's legacy. The ready to wear has become his means of social commentary. It isn't pretty out here, so that's for the mud stuff. All right. This is just stuff that I had kind of took for the. So this is Juan Pablo, okay? John Paul, the Rosicrucian. So with him wearing this shirt, he's not saying that white lives matter, and there's writing on the shirt on the front. Well, let me see, I have it written down. It says the writing is Seguimos ejemplo, right? Which I thought I wrote the meaning. I didn't write the meaning down, but I wrote the words down. But it basically says it's like one to be followed, right? Or to be followed, or follow my way, right? So basically, what Kanye is saying with this "White Man Lives Matter" shirt is that y'all been put under a spell by this guy for the longest. And if you read this book, The Illustrated Secret History of the World, based on the passage that I showed you, right? This guy knows how to cast spells, right? So this is a spell that's been casted, okay? And this is from what, 1939? So this is something recent, okay? And then again, he was talking about a fashion house, right? He's talking about LVMH, okay? So he's talking about these people. LVMH is trying to kill my friends one-on-one that they killed Virgil Abloh, okay? So he's messing, and look, you see the cross right here. You see the cross right there on this particular image that Kanye is leaking, which they deleted off Instagram, but the internet remembers everything, right? Also, look at what the Pope's doing, right? We're going into the time where we're dealing with the NWO, the New World Slaughter, right? One world government, right? Things that I've been reading about since 1999, in books like Leviathan 666, right? About the New World Order coming, right? The Unseen Hand, things like books like that, right? I never thought I'd be alive to see it, but it's here, it's coming, right? So it says Pope imposes deadline for Vatican to transfer assets to bank. Now, if you think fashion houses are not linked to the Pope when we're dealing with conjure, we're dealing with magic, when I just showed you that he is a magician, I just showed you proof, and I just showed you how Kanye is saying that this white thing is a spell, right? And that people are following white people. And I showed you my Facebook post to show that how we're still following white people, basically by wearing the Gucci, the Louis, the Balenciaga, the red bottoms, and sometimes these clothes that we're wearing even have white angels. Okay, so so-called black people are caught up under a spell conjured by Pope Juan Pablo, and I'm sure all the other popes that preceded him. So it says the Pope imposes a deadline for Vatican to transfer assets to bank. So he imposed the deadline October 1st, and then all these things are happening after October 1st, right? And on this week of the full moon, where we're going into the full moon in Aries, which is an initiator. So if you want to see where you want to start something new, or you want to change something, or you want to open the road, as they say in cult circles, right? You want to do a road opener. This is the time, right? Aries season, a full moon. I mean, not Aries season, but an Aries full moon under Libra, which is basically a scale balancer, which deals with relationships, which is what you need to be successful in anything. You need relationships. We're social people. You can't build a successful business without people buying your product. So you have to know how to deal with people, right? So it's a great time, right? But he's imposing a deadline for the Vatican to transfer assets to the bank. And he's basically saying that all the Holy See offices, notice that his name is Holy See, right? Still dealing with third eye, still dealing with perception. Offices and Vatican linked institutes to deposit their assets into the Vatican Bank. All right. So he's saying all these institutions to basically put their money in one bank. Okay. One bank, one world government. See where it's going, right? Digital coins, right? Blockchain, be able to see all your transactions. If you sell a nickel bag in the park, the government's able to see it, right? Through the use of the blockchain. Different world coming, okay? So, with that said, this is why I say that you melanin, right? You melanated, instead of just saying melanated. Because of the ability of your melanin to absorb light and convert light to energy. Researchers uncover a secret of your ubiquitous pigment's ability to absorb a bright, broad spectrum of light, all right? You have actually, damn, I had it here, but you have so it says it's a naturally existing nanocomposite, has critical microscopic properties as a result of the nanostructure. Nanobites, right? You probably heard of nanobites or nanobots, right? So this is saying it has a nanostructure. You melanin molecules all share a basic chemistry, but more than 100 variations of the composition exist. They can't track you melanin down. They don't know what it is. They don't really know how to harness it. They're still trying to learn it, okay? The slight variations from one molecule to another may contribute to that disorder that broadens the ability to absorb light. The jury is still out on which is important, all right? But they don't know. The analysis still leaves open questions about the precise structure of your melanin molecules. You cannot be defined, okay? You have no history. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. About to burn down my house. All right. Thanks for your patience. So, this is one of the reasons why I say you melanated beings, because this is the part of you. There's 3 different types of melanin. There's phenomelanin. I thought I had it up here, but I guess I don't. But there's phenomelanin, which is the body's melanin, basically the color, whether you're lighter, darker, blah, blah, blah. That's the melanin people talk about. Oh, carbon, ether. Well, I mean, carbon and melanin are 2 different structures, right? They don't even look alike if you look at the biochemical structure, right? That looks something like this. They don't look alike. Furthermore, everything in the universe has carbon. So hitching your wagon to carbon is like hitching your wagon to, I don't know, a donkey, right? A donkey has carbon. Everything has carbon in it. So it doesn't make you any more special than anybody because you are a carbon being, right? But this does. Your melanin makes you special. More light, more information. This is why we're such a creative people, because of the melanin that we have and the degree of melanin that is in our bodies, okay? This has nothing to do with just you being black, okay? But this does give you the ability to have more information to be able to connect not only to other people, but to everything in nature. And as it says here, there are crystals, okay? Tiny crystals. You also have something in your brain called magnetite crystals, okay? Your pineal gland has crystals as well, okay? So all of these things are trying to show you, all these parts of your physical body are trying to show you who and what you truly are, okay? So again, tap into your frequencies. I showed y'all this in my other video, but you can easily tap into these frequencies to raise your vibration so that you could heal that nervous system, raise the energy up here. Once the blood rushes to the brain, the more blood rushes to the brain and the less that's in the body for fight or flight, fear, nervousness, anxiety, tension, depression. These are things that you don't hear about in other even melanated cultures. I've been to the Caribbean many a times, right? As a child, as a teenager, and as an adult. You don't hear them talk about anxiety and depression at all. Do they have problems like everybody else? Yeah, they do. But because these are people that are naturally in nature and on islands and around trees and animals, right? It's not experienced the same because we live in this fast-paced world with phones and all this technology and Wi-Fi signals and concrete jungles. Not to say they don't have them in those countries either, but it's a much more natural environment. And also the people, because they have a similar culture, look out for each other differently. So it's no wonder why. So now when people talk about Africans or people from the Caribbean or people from the England or whatever coming here and taking the jobs or getting breaks, it ain't that. It ain't that. They ain't getting no breaks. They ain't getting no special program. My parents are Caribbean. They ain't getting no special program or nothing like that, right? But the culture is different. It's a different culture. I'm not saying one is better. I'm not saying one is worse. But there's better aspects of the culture than blackness. Once you understand that, okay, black is a curse. If you don't get nothing else from nothing I said here, whenever you're saying you're black, you're lowering your frequency, you're lowering your vibration, you're lowering your potential. Call yourself a Moor, call yourself a God, call yourself you melanated, call yourself melanated. I don't care. I don't care. But that black shit, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. If you really trying to manifest, or you really trying to get yourself together, yeah, exactly. Hello. White people got melanin too, exactly. Big fucking exactly, right? And when you see all them freckles, that's melanin too. But the melanin is something that they don't have. All right. It said, I will change the world. I started, waking more people. The time is coming. Exactly. Producer Micro, exactly. Hit that subscribe button too. Hit that like button. I'm on the road to 2G, y'all. Let me answer this question from my guy, Hollow. He says, "You hear Valentine say they created an organic melanin. How do they get that? Yeah, they have something where they're actually trying to. Well, they're using melanin, right? The phenomelanin. So they're basically trying to extract the they created. I don't know about an organic melanin, right? You'd have to ask Dr. Valentine. I'm not familiar with that, but I do know that they have been using melanin to like coat space shuttles and spaceships, especially like those SpaceX rockets, which they've been launching on a rapid rate into the atmosphere. They are using those to they are coating those with a melanin, what they call a melanin polymer, but it's an inorganic melanin. Now, as far as an organic melanin, I'm not. Yeah, I don't want to. You definitely would have to ask Dr. Valentine about that. I do not know, but it's still not you melanin, right? It still doesn't have 100 plus variations, and they just saying 100 variations. They don't really know, right? They don't really know. They're just saying that they have no more than it says more than 100 variations because they don't know because when they get it, it's just bouncing, right? If you look at when they try to put it on under a microscope and measure it and basically put it in a box, right? That black box that they have humanity under, black humanity specifically, is fucked up. And if you notice the people that come here, I didn't finish my thought, but the people that come here that don't say they're black. Oh shit, I didn't even show y'all that what I was talking about. But yeah, all right, there you are. Yeah, more than 100 variations of the composition exist, right? So when they talk about people from other countries coming here, it's because of their culture and it's because of their mentality. They're not under the curse of black. And psychologically, it's another reason why they don't want to be called black. Now, because of the curse of blackness and the curse of whiteness, right? Because whiteness is a spell too, to make you think that everybody that is has less melanin or less you melanin is white, and that's just not true. That they're not pure, they're not unblemished, they're not proper, they're not honorable, right? Just because they're white, but that is the spell. So you have even people in the esoteric community, who all they read is books by white people, right? When black people like C. Freemanel and Chancellor Williams and what's the sister's name? Read the ISIS papers. Always. Francis Fresh Wilson, right? Dr. Ben Jocannon, right? Cheikh Anta Diop. All these other authors and writers who've talked about mysticism and magic and the occult, right? Raoul Ephraim, um, Layla Africa, right? Dr. Sebi, right? All these geniuses that we have amongst us, right? There's a lot of people who still look to white people, right? So called white people as authorities because of the spell of whiteness. Same way blackness is a spell, whiteness is a spell. And I've showed everybody enough proof. Go back and watch the video. Okay. Yeah, I fuck with Afro beats too. That's my shiznit. Great goodness, goddess. Yeah, I definitely mess with them Afro beats heavy. That's my one of my favorite musics. And I'm gonna end it with this comment because this is a good one. You want to also one of the rich when you are doing engaging in any type of spiritual ritual, right? You want to have the four elements in place. So you want to have a crystal that you're harnessing your energy to, whatever you're trying to manifest. You want to have an incense, whatever you're trying to manifest, right? You want to have some water, right? Speak into that water, a glass you drink, and a glass just for your ancestors, right? And you want to have so I did the crystal or gemstone, right? That's for the earth. The incense is for the air. The water is for the water, right? And fire is of course the candle, right? And the one, so those are the four elements, but the fifth element, right, is music, right? Because what is music? Music is oneness, right? When we're talking about the Kabbalah with a tree of life, what the hell's my Kabbalah? Oh, I know I took it out to use it. When you're talking about the Kabbalah, the tree of life, right? Actually, what am I doing? I have it here. When you're talking about the Kabbalah, the tree of life, what you're talking about is, as far as music, right? You basically you want to do a combination. So the combination of this is the crown. All these things, right? Once you are, and this is an initiation process. I'll get into this in another video, not tonight, because I'm getting kind of sleepy again, and I gotta wake up for work in a couple of hours. So I want to get some. Even though I took a nap, I probably won't fall asleep, but I at least want to relax just in case, get an hour or two. But when you talk about a combination, right? When the music comes in, basically you're activating that crown. This is why when you see any indigenous ritual, right, they always have music involved and chanting, right? Because not only are the four elements in those rituals, right? You'll see them with crystals, or on crystal stones, or they'll be beating drums, or you'll see the incense or the smoke. You'll see them eat certain things, even that could represent the earth. You see them have drink where they'll be spitting alcohol or drinking alcohol, which is also called spirits, right? Um, and you'll definitely see fire, right? They always have some sort of fire, or they're lighting something on fire, or they're burning something, right? So the fifth element really is this kether. It's really oneness. It's really unity. It's not spirit, right? Because when we talk about the word spirit, again, spirit or spiritus means the wind, or it means air. So spirit is not the fifth element. Love isn't the fifth element either, because love on a tree is four. So it's kether or ma'at. Not kether, sorry. It's ma'at or chesed, right, on the tree of life. So it's not up where kether is, which would be Orser. So definitely, so love is cool, love is great, but love God the divine, the creator, right, the grand architect of this whole thing, is higher than love. Is much higher than love, and most people don't even know what love is. Most people think love is just an emotion, but when feel good, when that ain't love at all. That's not love at all. But that's for another channel, not another channel, another show, another time. With that being said, so yeah, play some Afro beats when you're doing a ritual, man. Play some Afro beats tomorrow. Put on some high vibration music to wake you up. Whatever you got to do during the day, whatever time, put on some high vibe music, dance in your home, man. Feel good about life. I always close it and tell you enjoy your life. Don't take it so serious. Don't be so mad about everything. Don't be so upset about everything. You know, no matter who it comes from. Don't be so upset. Don't be so triggered. Like how many first is the Woman King. Now it's Kanye's shirt. Before that is PNB Rock. Before that is Coolio. Like it's this. There's a ritual. Cool. They took Coolio's energy. There's a ritual. They took PNB Rock's energy. There's a ritual. They took such and such energies. Like okay, what about the rituals you supposed to be doing, nigga? Niggas. Like what are you doing? What are you doing? Only you can save the world. And by saving the world, you're saving yourself, not saving anybody else, not trying to rescue anybody else. We're not missionaries. That's for the Christian missionaries. What are you doing for you? Making yourself better is making the world better, right? Wake up in the morning, drink some water with some lemon if you can, right? Put on some good music, right? And think about your day, plant the seeds for what you want your day to be. Really, you should be doing that at night, according to the cycle that we're in right now. So you should be getting your meditation in and preparing for the day ahead of time. and you know, gets out. The morning sun too is amazing. If you get out, I mean, it's a little cold in New York, but I still try to get out in the morning and take a little walk. That morning sun has the most negative ions, and it's so powerful. It'll literally going out there. Since I've been doing it, it will raise your frequency for the day. Even if you go out and you're tired, it'll help raise your frequency just going out. Some of y'all just have to do that for work anyway. But I'm saying if you're working from home or something like that, make it your business to get out. Don't be a couch potato. Don't just be sitting down, laying down. And I'm telling this to myself as well. All right, y'all. With that said, I don't know how long I've been here on. Oh, damn, I've been over 2 hours. It felt like an hour. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all being with me. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We on the road to 2K. I think I'm 2 away from 1900 right now. So if you got a troll account, hit that troll account, put that troll account and subscribe so I can get to 1900. I think I'm like 2 people away. And yeah, we're on the road trying to get to 2Gs before the year's ends. That would be nice to accomplish 2Gs in the 2-year 2022. And if you need a reading, hit me up. I'm also back doing my psychic mediumship. So if you want to communicate with an ancestor, don't hesitate to hit me up. Once you do it with me, you'll see. I mean, I did this in 2017. I have people who could tell you that I ain't no joke with reading pictures and reading people off their picture and communicating with the dead. I just haven't done it because I got tired. Again, I've said this before, but I got tired of talking about people, about their baby daddy, their baby mama, their relationships issues. It seemed like that's all motherfuckers want to read it on. And it was annoying. Nobody wants to develop themselves. Nobody wants to grow spiritually. Nobody wants to know how to heal. It's just, what's my baby daddy? What's my financial status? Am I going to find love? And that shit is so surface to me. It's so bottom level to me. All right, y'all. Peace, power, prosperity. Rob Blackstone. One love.